seems that they've resourced and are ready to go here. Just waiting for time maybe to start. Could be.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. And we have a Naboo fighter. I think that is the Naboo fighter, the 3-2 in space.
That's a good start, I think.
Solid. If you're trying to contend for space, then it's not as good. But this deck, it looks like he might not even have a real turn 1 play.
Oh, that's a cool play. Okay.
Yeah. Just need to shuffle that back in.
Yeah, and get an X-Wing out of that, right?
X-Wing token, yes. So
that's going to be good for Lando, yeah.
Which
I can understand where Luke was coming from with that, trying to be like, all right, let's race as fast as we can to get the damage on there, so when Liberty does hit, you got something, but X-Wing's going to muck it up.
Indeed. Generally speaking, again, with brown-based decks, with this Luke yellow...
Luke handles this.
And so we do have the death blah 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 that gets
the death space down. Skirmisher. I got you. I used to run that card in a different deck.
right. Already bounced the Naboo fighter.
Yeah, Cannon's a great play here to help keep tempo from getting out of hand on the Lando side. Plus, the restore 1 is pretty massive, so it's going to end up being a tough one for Luke to race. He's going to have to start interacting, I think, with both ground and space here just to keep a handle on the game.
Right, yeah. I do think if this is indeed the combo-y version of the deck, he's still in it. He's got to resource that sudden ferocity to get that up, and we still haven't seen any of the big one, the big yellow 4/5, 4/6 that gets boost.
The Black Squadron.
The Black Squadron, right? That's the one, yes. Which is kind of the combo here, if that's what it's trying to do.
Pushes a lot of damage. Looks like Luke is going to use that ability to keep the X-Wing in check, hopefully knocking it out next turn. I believe that's what they're planning.
And obviously, since he can't really take out the Death Squadron Skirmisher, he's just going base there.
There we go.
Yeah, that's enough. That's 4/4 that gets to ping up to 2 space units, I believe.
Yep, that's the B-Wing, and that one's actually some of the decks that we've been messing around with involve playing like they hate that ship on turn 1 and playing a 4-ish drop ship, and that's actually Atlanta's got the 2 restore combo down there. That's going to be really hard to push the damage through without some kind of bounce or way to eliminate one of the 2 of those.
And I mean, you don't really want to bounce Kanan. And bouncing Yaddle is not very impactful. If you're paying 3 for a Beguile to bounce a 2-cost unit, you're not doing that great.
Yeah, it's not the best. So my only other thought as to what they could do. So yellow has most of the bounce interaction. If there's enough red in the deck, you could run Charged with Treason, I believe, and do 5 damage to one of the 2 of them. But the benefit of the green version tends to be air superiority, which helps control the ground lane with that too. But I don't know what you do else in red-yellow.
So what you could do is you could do some of these decks run Sabine unit on the ground to ambush for 3, just to kill Yaddle mainly.
That makes sense.
Because then you can kill it with the Luke ping.
Yeah, it's not the most efficient, but it does get the job done.
It does, and sometimes you can trap players with that if you kind of get them to play, especially like against Virgin's Temple. You can sort of. Lando is actually head on the race somehow.
Oh yeah, Lando's both ahead on the race. It effectively has restore 3 between the 2 units if you sequence it correctly. So Luke has only been able to push 1 damage from the units they have, and I'm wondering how much of this is just set up for as big of a flip turn as Luke can get.
Yeah, and he's trying to go wide here for some reason instead of playing a big ship, and that's a little bit dangerous because of the tree remembers. You can't really flip Luke into anything that costs less than 4 against a blue deck.
Yeah, I mean the good news is the B-Wing is a good target there still. However,
if it's tapped down or killed, So it's and I don't know about playing a blue leader in space without actually ambushing and as a 3/3 doesn't feel too great, does it?
No.
And we do get another X-Wing token here.
There's a lot of patrols being commenced here.
Indeed.
That's a lot of getting the same one on that one.
Right, right. Unfortunately for the Lando player, Luke is going to be able to flip onto the forecast before he can do anything. Just did we ever see a Cinta go down in the resource row?
I have not been able to see one yet. That doesn't mean there isn't one. It just means I haven't been able to see it.
And he has
So
not resourced that Southern Ferocity. It's still in his hand, which makes me think that he has a Syntha in the row, and
I can
he
see
wants
that.
to and he
He wants
wants
to
to keep
save
the
it.
Southern in his hand instead.
Yeah. The B-Wing is still like it's a great ship. It's a 4/4 4
Hmm.
cause. Does
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of tempo here and survives the tree remembers. So I'm expecting that to be the target flip for Luke when Luke does flip, but
yeah, yeah.
see what we
And
got here.
he'll be able to wipe out one of the two X-wing tokens immediately, but then the other one can trade with the Naboo fighter, and
True.
he's still got those three restore on the ground. So maybe you want to wipe out Yaddle instead.
Yeah,
And
I think that's what's being debated right now is do you flip and wipe out Yaddle? Do you run red 5 and put extra damage on Yaddle, then ping, take her out? Like there's a
yeah,
couple of different sequencing options here, I think, but I'm not sure any
flipping
of them
onto
are
red 5
particularly
is
good.
yeah, flipping onto red 5 here is so dangerous.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't flip onto it. I would just straight attack with red 5, put the
Oh,
damage
oh
out,
yeah,
and
okay.
ping.
Yeah. All right.
If I had
Fine.
to pick, like, if I had to go that branching route. So I'm not sure
Right,
I
right.
would. Oh no,
But he is
doing it
flipping
anyway.
onto it.
Okay.
All right, let's go. So we're looking for a Syntha, I think.
Yep,
Yes,
found
that
Cinta.
is the Syntha to get to attack immediately. This
Interesting.
is probably my
Okay.
least favorite line of play in this deck, but it is a line of play, and sometimes it's the one
Sometimes
you've
your
got.
hand kind of dictates what you can and can't do. So it
Right,
may just
right,
be this is the best option of the available.
right.
And props for just coming up and blowing things up.
Yeah, yeah, that's never too bad. And I mean, with between the on attacks here, he can do 5 damage. So he can just take Kanan out at least,
Yep,
which is taking 2 restore off the board, basically.
that's a pretty big deal there. You just
Hmm.
have to kind of hope Lando's not holding on to Liberty, and you're probably at least okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Uh, Also, of course, True remembers his year's going to blow out here. But he did
that's
get
true.
one swing in for, what is that? That's 8 damage to base at least, or
Yeah,
7, something like
3
that.
and yeah, 7. Excuse me.
7. And he's still got 4 coming from the B wing. And I'm assuming the Naboo fighter won't live to crash into
Yeah,
to base here.
probably a good assumption, though. You never know. Yaddle could be considering use Yaddle now, but I'm not really sure what other interaction there would be from the Luke side. So Yaddle's probably safe for a little bit. I think my move would be to crash into the Naboo
if you
fighter
got
there.
if you've got Liberty in hand, you could argue that you want to flip as soon as possible, right?
I would think so because of the Sentinel. Yeah,
Hmm. But doesn't look like it. And he did prioritize Seattle. We are not able to predict these players very well.
we are not. Which I guess they're going to try to take out the B wing with the 2 X
Hmm.
wings, which is fair. It's a strong unit.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
And it probably has enough. I mean, there's been enough restore going on throughout the game that Lando probably feels at least a little safer than they would normally,
Yeah, yeah.
taking their time.
Flipping
So
here, having 1 credit going to 3 credits.
Lando's cheating. Someone watch his
Yeah,
hand.
he is. And then he's playing something big here.
Oh, that's a 9. That's a
That's
Bo-Katan. Oh, that's
Bo-Katan.
really good.
Oh, that
Okay.
makes sense now.
Yep.
That's why he wants to do it that way. Uh,
That makes sense.
yeah, gets 2 experience tokens onto Lando, you can assume. No? Oh, yeah, he's
Ooh,
putting
he's
in
gonna go fight in
space.
space. All right.
Interesting.
He's just gonna push
Um,
damage now, giving the -3 across the
oh,
board.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I forgot about that. So,
I'm a
yes,
little
getting
surprised the
another one.
X-Wing didn't attack Luke.
Hmm.
Um,
No, does Bo-Katan give -3?
Attack the
Sure.
base.
It
Yeah,
does. It does.
the X-Wing just
Here
didn't
he does.
attack, and that's interesting to me.
He instead he did he run?
Yeah,
No?
I think, I don't know if it was a play mistake or if it's, some kind of 4D chess that I'm missing, which could be
Huh.
either one.
I mean, he should have claimed, right? Because and they just forgot to move the token, right?
I believe the Luke player claimed, and then Bo-Katan came down, and Luke or Lando did Lando things, and then I'm assuming forgot to attack with the X-wing that he put a bunch of experience tokens on to take out Luke, but I don't know that for
No,
sure yet, because
that
5 would be enough, right? It's, oh no, 5 doesn't actually kill it. Maybe that's
yes,
why he didn't want to sacrifice, because Luke would have had 6.
yes, 4 plus 5 is 9, and that's 6. Yes, he should have had 6 left, and that is one
So it
off.
turns out I'm just bad at math when it comes to this, and it's not some 4D chess thing.
But still, he could have gone to if
Look at the hand first, and you could decide.
yeah.
Right? So
Okay. Oh,
Yep. Okay. So the X-wing is going to get taken out from that. It's just a matter of the way they laid the cards out confused me for a second, and
Right.
that makes sense from the Luke side. I still don't understand not attacking
Yeah.
base with the Lando,
Right.
but I guess
Exactly.
Bo-Katan doesn't care because she's a massive unit.
Yes. But Luke gets to attack
And in the Luke players thing, so you could play sudden ferocity and then attack base twice and win the game.
Yes.
So
But he's not. He's instead attacking and taking Lando out because he's prioritizing not taking the damage from Lando here.
That's fair.
I guess, yes. There's still time to use the suddens later on. And also going to 22, he's presenting lethal. So either
Yeah.
Lando has some kind of answer in hand, or he kind of has to claim here. And he does
Interesting.
claim. Yeah.
Yeah, so Luke's got a little bit of time just to honestly, I think I would personally play the sudden ferocity out and just say, "Can you stop me?" But
Yeah, I'd rather play a unit here.
that's also fair. Give it a little bit more insurance.
Yeah, any unit is good, and if you put sudden on it, it gets better.
Yeah.
He did go to 7 resources, so he could play that. It looks like a
I think
Falcon
I see black one
there.
and Falcon, yeah.
Yeah, Falcon is coming down. No,
Well, maybe.
maybe.
The Clown Car Falcon might show up.
There
I
might
wonder
be.
what's in Lando's hand.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
claiming with that many resources open tells me you're
I'm
kind of
guessing
desperate for an answer, right?
we knew he had that Mandalorian and a Fireball, right?
That's right. It's
Yeah.
not Liberty, I guess, is really the
Yes.
important part of that.
So he needs to draw into either Liberty or something that can take care of the Luke unit, and there's not a whole lot that can take care of the Luke unit.
Lost and Forgotten would probably also help, though I don't know that it would save him completely because, you'd heal 3 and you'd take out the Falcon.
Yeah, 19. He'd
and you'd buff
survive one.
Blow.
Yeah, he would survive from Lost and Found here, but that's not what he found. So
Yeah, it was not found
one.
that way.
Or because you can't take the risk that he's having some kind of boost here. He could have trench run or aggressive negotiations. Either would be fine. He just needs to boost that for how much? To 8-1. If he can boost that attack with the Falcon first.
I wonder if the thought is just put him in check either way. So if you can't answer the thing, then I don't know.
He's scooping.
Yeah, they're gonna scoop and go next. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there may have been
exactly that's sort of baffling me as well.
So it could just be a play mistake, and it's one of those. It's early enough in the rounds that it won't burn him for too bad.
No, and I mean, he's obviously won the first. Chris has, so taking a game loss here isn't that bad.
No, I agree, and I didn't see anything that is out of my expectation range for what Lando Blue is playing right now, and we all know that's a solid deck. So
yeah,
sometimes you just got to get to the point where you can let the cards do the work for you.
Yeah, and Lando is actually quite good into space decks because of all the restore.
Yeah, yep, that's a good point too.
They might not be able to contest the space lane early on, but they can restore. Often they can restore enough and kill with some event removal enough to just hang in there until they can get to Liberty. And
I call that strategy the restore and ignore.
Yeah, exactly. And they can usually do that quite efficiently.
Yeah, blue is very good for that kind of thing. So one of the other decks I've been running just for fun lately is Boba Blue, and you can do something very similar where you play a restore 1 unit on top of a restore 2 unit later on. And it's a similar strategy to fight against a lot of these pilot decks that are floating around. And I think Luke might be the best anti-pilot deck. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
probably the one you're going to see the
Especially
most of.
Luke Yellow, especially, it is so good into other space decks. Like I
Yeah.
said, we were just doing a deck tech on the Inglorious Blasters team's version of the Luke Yellow deck, and they just the way they are able to handle other space deck is just it's
It's
gross.
awesome.
Yeah, it's gross. Between Blue Ace and Fireball, they just own the space lane every time. And then when you have the possibility to do something like 23 damage on flip turn in one go, that is just stupid. Like, you know,
That's combo potential.
yeah. Like if they get to do 23 damage on flip turn, there's not a lot you can do about that then.
Yeah, just imagine being in a 27 or 25 health base with that. It's like, oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So I don't even have any idea what to start predicting for sideboards to come in. I guess from the Lando side, if Lost and Forgotten isn't in the main deck, it probably has come in.
And Retaliation could be
Retaliation's a good
a
call there
really
too.
good one. It's a really
Yep.
good one. If they've got something like Oven Last or something in the side deck, could be interesting. They might be playing that. Other than that, they looked pretty well teched to handle space decks.
Yeah.
In main deck.
And I think that last one just got a little bit away from him, but the deck has shown that it can hang. So
For the Luke deck, he might not be running collateral damage in main deck, but that's a card that is
I do
certainly a
like that
good
card too. Yeah,
consideration.
a little bit of extra reach in some cases,
Yes.
or helping take 2 units out on the ground.
Like collateral damage could be the way to go.
That is one
You
of
were
my favorite
talking
new
about
cards.
yeah. It's really good, and it's a bit versatile as well, right?
Yeah.
And then you were talking about the red remove the damage event
the charge with treason, right?
Yes, that one could also be interesting.
It'd be interesting if there's enough red in the deck. That's a hard one to do sometimes, just because 2 red cards isn't, especially in like a 2-color deck. I've been running it a lot in Revan, which is a 1-color deck, but it's a lot harder to do in a 2-color deck sometimes.
Right.
All right. Looks like the Lando player likes their hand, and we're gonna keep both. All right, we're off to the races probably.
I just got back, so I did get to see this Enfys deck get played the round before, so I got a little ideas what's going on here. How you doing?
Yeah, doing great. I haven't been playing as much Star Wars, so I'm going to ask lots of dumb questions, but I'm excited to get in here, and I'm excited to do a round with our buddy Loopy on stream.
Yeah, absolutely. This Enfys deck is interesting. I think he's started to refine it, right? As we're starting to get into the early meta here, figure out what decks are good, how to make some of these new leaders work. Some of the early versions I was playing with were more space focused and trying the ion cannon thing. I don't think he's quite doing that. He's kind of more refined, streamlined his aggressive approach.
Yeah, so what's this deck about? Teach me a little here.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive for the most part. He's definitely going to try to be the beatdown here against the Lando Blue. Get in a lot of damage with upgrades. He has a good hard pivot to space should he need it with like haulers and the Naboo starfighters, that sort of thing, Han pilots. So he's definitely going to be very aggressive. Try to kill Lando or get him within reaching distance of that finish. Right around the turn, Lando's trying to flip and drop bombs.
Okay.
Base attack. So you're going to see haulers, pilots, pumps, that sort of thing. But of course, Enfys flips to ground, and if you can get her helmet, maybe a sudden ferocity, she can be a real challenge herself.
Okay, and then Lando, I saw some space sentinels. Is he trying to block both arenas with some sentinels? Like, what's going on there? Just I imagine he needs to stay alive, right, to start making some powerful plays.
Yeah, Lando's game plan is 2 things going into his flip turn: defend and stay alive, right? Keep the damage low, and make sure you have a credit going into his flip turn. And then from there, you flip into the 3 credits, and you just start dropping bombs and asking, "Hey, you got an answer for this? You got an answer for this?" So yeah, we're gonna see a Enfys pushing hard into Lando, trying to fight it off, and then right around that flip turn for Lando, I think we're gonna have a good idea of who's ahead. Well, looks like we're shuffling back up here. We must be taking a mulligan. I see Loopy's hands down.
Might be able to shut things down and win the game. That's kind of how I'm understanding this matchup right now.
Yep, and that's been my experience with it so far. So, Lando, once you get to that flip turn, is going to be able to shut down a wide board with Bo-Katan, or maybe shut down a space lane with a Liberty. On that flip turn is going to be dropping those big things to kind of shut down the aggressive attack. So, Enfys definitely wants to be within striking distance to kill with a pump or put Lando in a awkward check position around that turn.
Yep, I saw the +2 Saboteur pump in another deck. I don't know if he's running it here. And that
Yeah,
looked
I've
really
seen some.
good.
Yeah, I've seen that one coming out of sideboards when you see kind of a large Sentinel strategy. I'm not sure if Loopy's main boarding it. I guess we'll find out. But my guess is it's somewhere in the 60. All right. All right. So we're going to make some resourcing choices here. So Lando early on, some of his defenses are going to include like the Lothwolf, just a Sentinel down on board, just a meat bag, right, to stand in the way.
They're gonna match the late night text for Space Ground. I mean,
Nice.
it's also just a chunky space unit, right? Like, do you need to be doing anything else with it?
Yeah, I really like the 2/4s now too, because we see a lot of blue leaders running around. So it's harder to just remove, right? It can take one hit at least and try to keep its way out there. So, and Loopy's really leaning into space, and Lando's going to lean into restore to try to keep the damage down. That's what we're looking like here.
Oh,
Ooh,
he hit. Got his credit.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
build
In
these
this,
decks so you always hit?
yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. So the Lando deck, this blue version in particular, is focused around heroism, and so the majority of the cards in this deck are heroism. There's a few misses, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
high percentage heroism, so you can target yourself and reliably hit that token.
Got it.
I really like that token too. That's an Imperial credit over there. So I've got some gold credits myself, but I like the Imperial one. Looks really nice.
I mean, is the Lando player expecting to never hit more than 4 credits?
I mean,
does maybe that's just the table tokens.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. I think those are the table provided tokens. My guess is that's Alex Kreza's set just from looking at it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think with Lando, for the most part, you really just want that one going into the flip turn. You're trying to guarantee it. You're not trying to stack, too many of them. Oh, and here we see the double trigger with the Enfys on the Ebon Hawk is just going to be a pile of damage into the Han pilot. Yeah, so we're taking. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we're gonna bounce the Sheath Peed with Kanan. We cannot bounce a 4-drop unit because we don't have the out of aspect requirement. So far, I'd be feeling pretty decent if I'm Loopy, but the restore just keeps building. Kanan has restore 2 now. And
Right.
Yaddle, being a Jedi, will double that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 restore a turn here is starting to get pretty hefty.
Yeah, right as you started to say you'd feel okay if you're Loopy, I was immediately thinking I'd feel good if I was Lando.
Oh.
This looks pretty good for Lando.
Yeah, well, especially with that lost and forgotten there. So that's more healing, and it's removing kind of, one of the major threats on the board right now.
Add some risk, maybe. Maybe he doesn't
Mhm.
hit. You said it's high chance, but you could miss. Okay.
And that life total nice and healthy.
Yeah, honestly, this is kind of brutal. if I'm Loopy right now.
Yeah, this almost feels like back in the previous meta, some of those games where Space Deck would be taking on, say, a Ray or something like that, and they just keep slamming restore unit after restore unit, and you're like, well, it's really adding up here. I mean, our total restored so far this game, if I'm calculating right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and then 3, so 10, including the event that was played.
Yeah, and all those attacks, he's not doing nothing. There's 16 on the other base too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, looking pretty good for Lando here. I'm seeing a Bo-Katan in hand. Won't be able to play that because we don't have the credit this turn to flip into a 9 total. We could create the credit, but that will only get us to 8. So we don't have to worry about that this turn. I can't quite see the other side of the hand. If there is a Liberty there, though, that's going to be a problem.
And that one costs 8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we're not doing that regardless.
Yeah. But this is just as good. The Enfys is the biggest threat out there right now, and we're just going to slap this is our new village people out in front, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. This looks like a new village, people.
More scars from the Ray days, huh? Now we've got the restore train going, plus a tiny shielded sentinel just to get in the way. Man, rough.
Yeah. I'm already thinking about my sideboard. If I'm Jeremy, what? Okay, what's coming up? What are we doing in this next game?
Yeah, this Lando deck is really powerful, right? We saw it do really, really well last week. Dominating both in the team event as well as the individual event. So I think we're going to see a lot of this Lando, and the meta is going to have to start to figure out, well, how do we handle it? I know internally we've been talking about credit hate. How
Earlier credit? Who cares if you're Lando? Like,
yes.
okay, thank you.
So interesting there. He must not be calling heroism. He must be calling vigilance. So I hadn't seen the previous version didn't have this 2/3 restore as prominent in the deck. So perhaps this version is built more around targeting vigilance to get your hits rather than heroism. That would also be
Right.
true with the 2/1 sentinel.
Yeah, the our little village people there.
Mm-hmm.
Every card he's played has been blue, right?
Yeah, and we're at 28
Can't see
health
his
here,
hand.
so yeah, everything here is lethal. So moving it on to game 2. So how does Loopy address some of these issues? The card that you talked about before, the when I'm under resourced and it gives you a pump, I believe also gives you Saboteur. In that case, with that stacked Emphys, having the Saboteur capability.
Just couldn't keep pressure. So what do you do?
Yeah. Well, Saboteur would be good to try to get through. If we do get the village people, the new village people, right? Obviously, he's playing a Lando deck, so upgrade hate is something I'm seeing in a lot of sideboards. So we're playing red yellow, so like an Arvel Skeen would make sense. And then maybe some sort of interaction with the ground, thinking either bounce or tap down to try to reduce some of what's going on. Perhaps even some sort of I don't know, some sort of removal, maybe a charged with treason, something like that. But we definitely can't let Yaddle get out of control like he did that game. Yaddle alone, between him and Kane and buffing Kanan, was quite a bit of restore. Really just put it out of reach for Loopy to be able to put on the kind of pressure he needs to be putting on to close out a game like that.
Before the Enfys flip, I think we saw him use the ability on the leader once, right?
Mhm.
Does that seem pretty average though? Like, can you really be spending 2 all that often leading up to your flip? Are you kind of in this for the free version once you flipped?
Yeah, it's got to be really effective, right? You got to be really doubling something that's really impactful because I think you do need to be deploying to the board and really putting pressure on your opponent. I agree with you. I doubt more kind of floating resources. Um,
Right.
but yep, another couple of cards I know I've played in my Enfys to try to get some of that Saboteur to get through. Maybe like a BD1 or an Ascension
Mhm.
cable. Those could be options coming in. Um, I think I've seen there's been some system shock out there, I guess against that 2/1 um, Sentinel. You'd be able to defeat the shield and then do the 1 damage, be pretty good, pretty effective.
All right. And then what are we doing if we're
Cheaper removal just to deal with piloted ships in particular. Like we saw the Han on the Ebonhawk, right? A tree remembers would be a good removal there. So probably cheaper removal, maybe even some space interaction of other kinds. I'm trying to think what else they might have. Um, any other sort of removal options? I think it's tree remembers is the most common one I see come in.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're still planning here. The Lando player, I think, is up to shuffling now. Loopy's still thinking through his options.
Okay. So it went well, but for Lando, but a little bit more spot removal. little more control of space, maybe.
Yeah, I think where it goes wrong with Lando's if they can't get a good start. I think Yaddle might be one of the best cards to start with, obviously, because the healing factor there. Say Lando had to start with a Loth Wolf. It does put a body in the way, but it's not helping you damage Loopy's board. It's not helping you restore. So there's some less desirable options that could be there. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Lando presenting the deck here.
Oh, we just had Loopy's sideboard right behind the deck box. Did you notice what it was? I just noticed as he was scooping it up.
I just saw it. Yep.
So what did he bring in?
Yep, definitely the Arvol's coming in, right? So for the credit hate as he pushed it away to the side, and then I think it was charged with espionage. That's the disclosed.
Oh yeah, that's so good against credit tokens. Wow.
Okay, so we're starting to the ground this time. This is going to give Loopy some options to interact with, say, Yaddle. There you go, if it's needed.
Okay.
Now, given how efficient Yaddle was last game, do you attack the base here, start pushing damage? That's your goal, or do you hit the Yaddle because you'd eventually need to clear him?
Okay, now I think we hit the Yaddle. But with Yaddle having 4, I was thinking, I don't know. But wait. Well, okay, why didn't we get an attack in with the Yaddle?
So we did a token right away. I guess he really wants the option here for the token. I can just see his hand tilting there. I think the plan here is to play Kanan turn 2 with the token and bounce this Warrior Clan Odo. And now he's going to see it. Okay, I'm not sure why both hands are on the board here.
I was gonna say I don't know what just happened. What is there a trigger that reveals?
He's disclosing the Nemec for the Warrior of Clan Order ability, and then he's looking at the hand for the Stolen Star Path unit.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
So he named a card, and he must have gotten it correct because we're seeing a spy here. So he didn't previously know it was in the hand. So whatever his guess was correct. Perhaps he had also surmised that the reason he was going to 4 resources or 3 resources plus a credit was to try to Kanan and named the Kanan. I expect I would see Kanan here. First action, we're going to bounce either the Nemec, probably the Warrior Clan Order, though.
Wow, that was nice.
Oh, he's up to 5. Oh, he's up to 5 anyway. All right. So, yeah, we can definitely Kanan. So let's see what he wants to do.
And this is a great start. So much contrast between this game and the last one.
Yeah, a lot more interaction, right? So Loopy game 1. I can see, though, that Lando is holding Sentinel Lando. So now that we've begun the ground assault, we're going to present a lot of challenges to get through on the ground. In the previous match, I saw Loopy playing. We got to about this point. He would start on ground with Nemec and some options, chip away a little bit of damage, and then pivot hard to space. We'd start to see haulers and other space units, and that's where he kind of finished the game. All right, we're just pushing into base now. We're going to leave Kanan alone. Say that 1 restore is not enough.
Yeah.
And this being the flip turn for Enfys, this is where I think Enfys really needs to pile the damage on. Because next turn when Lando flips is when he's going to be able to counterpunch with a potentially large, efficient unit like a Bo-Katan, because he's already got the credit prepped. I can't see Loopy's hand. I don't know if he's been able to draw that Arvol to perhaps interact with him.
Still pretty healthy.
Yeah, only 4. We're tapping 1. Can't quite see what that card was. It gave interaction to the ground. It obviously killed the Kanan. And then he's going to double trigger on the on attack for our Y-Wing here. So that's going to be 6 indirect damage. And here comes our boy. This new Lando, man. You'd said you hadn't been playing too much. Like Chirrut was already obnoxious, and this just feels the same. It's just as obnoxious as Chirrut, or at least I found it to be.
Oh, I see the Sentinel text. What else does he do?
So when he's attacked, the attacker gets -1 attack. So it's like a half of a cheered ability, but does not require the force. So he's really tough to get through. You know, he's got 5 health,
Yeah.
but you either need to do 6 all at once or multiple attacks being reduced. He's really a pain. I imagine he'll just be a staple in any sort of blue hero deck. And it looks like Loopy decides, yeah, we don't want to just run everything into it. We're gonna come up with a better answer this turn for Lando.
Yeah, looking at Loopy's deck, he does have some cards that could just take it right out. He might have it in his hand, given that.
Yeah, he could have killed it, but it would have cost him everything, right? The Warrior Clan Ordo, the Spy, and damage on Enfys just to get through it. So I see why we chose this route. All right. Lando doing Lando things.
Yep, but if Loopy has a clean answer to it, he can just fire it off now. But then what is he going to do to whatever Lando's doing with all his credits?
Yeah, and the worry is, oh, and he's got it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so the worry is all reduce a lot of the damage. It was Beguile though, so we got the Lando out of the way. That's good news. That was the plan, I suppose, with not attacking the previous turn. But I would think the Lando probably just slams Bo-Katan here immediately, and we're seeing all the credits. So here we go.
Wow. What's Heroism doing with a card like this? This seems wrong.
I can't imagine. It still blows my mind that Bo-Katan wasn't a legendary. I mean, it's one of the most powerful cards coming out of that
Yeah,
set.
look at it. Maybe it costs 8 if it's a legendary. I don't know. Like, what's
Make it even
different?
better.
Yeah, make it even better. 8 somehow.
So at this point, there's a clock on Enfys, right? We got a couple of huge units on the ground. It's going to, potentially put this game away in just 2 turns, right? So how is Loopy going to answer this? We have the space units to chip away.
You have enough resources to double some on attack triggers, but he's not doing that. So, that's tough.
Well, the on attacks, we've only got red 5, right? And there's no damaged units, so I guess that's not helping us too much. Okay, another Star Path unit. Oof. So that's going to clear our biggest threat here for Loopy and heal.
Yeah. Oh man, that Bo-Katan's so good.
In hand, so he can even throw a big sentinel in front of these meager sheath peds should he choose to.
Is it Bo-Katan?
Oh, am I
Bo-Katan?
pronouncing it? Yeah, we've got the.
I don't know.
Fist bump, so.
There it is. One other small note: the playmat that Loopy's playing on. I want to know the 5 minutes leading up to that scene. How did Vader get surrounded that close with people with little BB guns, and those people aren't dead already? I don't understand that scene.
So I know it's from the comic. But I haven't seen it either. I can only imagine he let that happen just to demolish them, right? Like he knows they're there, right? And he just wants to be intimidating, like y'all messed up.
He just walked over this hill, and here's all these boys. But
right.
Yeah. Oh, that was brutal. That was brutal. But also like a nice showcasing of this Lando deck, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, this Lando deck, even if you follow like showcase prices last week, when this Lando deck did so well last week, and I know I've been seeing more of it, the showcase has shot up in price. I think a lot of people are starting to come to a consensus that this is in the bowl for meta contenders for sure, right? It's a very powerful deck. It's flexible. It has a lot of answers, so you can play it in a way that, you can be more reactive and then be the one asking the questions, once you hit 6 resources and beyond. This deck's not going away. I think the question is, does Lando stay blue? I've seen a lot of Lando green, plays differently, but very interesting. So either way, we're going to see a lot of Lando.
Oh, that Bo-Katan. Sure, let's do it. We have a backup feature match. Well, real in those details about his opponent that just utterly smashed him. Apparently he's a friendly guy. And I know Jeremy, he's a friendly guy. He's going to be fine with that.
All right, let's find this backup table. All right, I'm just starting. Awesome. So we just talked about Lando Blue, and we've got another match here trying to answer the questions of how to handle Lando Blue. Is this Alex Kreis here on the side? It must be. He's an OB Virgin's Temple. Okay. All right. So this matchup, Jonathan, is one that we've been playing internally a good amount. We've been trying to ask, how do you handle Lando? And a lot of the time, it's
Mhm.
pressure. And this Obi deck, with all the buffing, can definitely put on pressure. We found this matchup to be pretty even in a lot of games that we've played out. So I'm not sure what game they're on here, but if anybody's going to pilot this Obi Virgins Temple to success, Alex has, like Han 2 previously, Han 2 Blue has jammed just about 1 million games with this Obi Virgins Temple.
Well, if an Obi-Wan deck is playable, I know my buddy Phil's playing it as well
Yeah.
on Bothan Network. Oh, he's such an Obi-Wan fan. I did that last match we saw. I definitely saw the value in clearing out that token. Like, if you couldn't have played the Bo-Katan, it's a whole nother game.
hmm So this game looks pretty in hand, I think, for Alex. Although Mandalorian's kind of changing things here, but we got a Yoda already on the board. At least we captured it, which is a requirement here. Obi-Wan is flipped, I guess, so he doesn't have the ability just to use the Force each turn to activate, say, a Yoda. Would it be on the board? All right, we're just gonna
Phil's
get Yoda back.
okay.
And that Yoda, this is the Judge Yoda, the Judge promo Yoda, and with a showcase in a PSA slab. I know I've gotten a couple of those, and I cracked them immediately. I'm not into the grading.
I mean, I don't grade cards. If you enjoy grading cards, what better card to grade than your leader? Because you can play it in a
True.
slab. It's not a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, one of the few games where you can actually play graded cards, right? That card in particular, I guess you could play a graded base, right? You want to get your
Right.
now a dominating ground control here by our Obi Virgins Temple deck, and able to clear our only space unit. So Lando looks to be in a whole lot of trouble. We came into this one kind of mid game, but I imagine we're going to see a scoop soonish without some craziness happening. Although we have seen some. There's the new removal spell. It is blue yellow. The Rhydonium explosion, is that the one? If it were in this deck, I haven't seen it played too much in Lando, but could be a potential comeback. Okay. Bo-Katan does clear a unit, shrinks things for this turn, just reduces the overall damage coming in. More of a stall than a comeback in some ways.
I was trying to look up an explosion card. Didn't find it. Is it like a board wipe?
Yeah. There you go. Detonation. I
Detonation.
said explosion. Yep.
Doing great. I mean,
Yep.
keeping Lando's board clear, again, going back to the last match, all those restore units, if they were just not on the board, you're buying so much time. But also, is he not? Where's his haymakers? Where's his big units that are supposed to be impacting the board?
Well, on the Lando side, we have, since we joined this game, we did see Liberty was already on the board. We did just drop Bo as a haymaker, but I think we're far enough behind that Obi-Wan is simply
Yeah.
able to answer them with either trades or removal. We don't know how we got to this point. Although I would say in my playing of this deck, it's typically Obi-Wan pressuring early and often. So starting with, say, like a Yaddle, we see Maz coming in, getting favorable trades. Really, with Obi-Wan, you want to be well ahead going into the 5 resource Obi flip turn buffing units to really put Lando on the back foot, such that those bombs are not as impactful. And it would appear that's what happened
Okay.
here.
Either a very interesting card was cast or somebody scooped.
Yeah, I think that was done. So I don't know
Yeah.
what game we were on though. Are we going to get a game 3? We're still shuffling a little bit here. I imagine that
I
had to have been
mean,
game 2. That would have been a really long game 1.
yeah, it's looking like we are going to get a game 3.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see any sideboarding going on either. So my assumption here is that we are going to game 3. They've already both sideboarded. So from Alex's perspective, I have played a bit of the Obi-Wan as well. I imagine that coming into game 2, some of that removal came in just to deal with some of those Lando type bombs. There is upgrade hate available in blue green hero. There's the guy that destroys a credit and buffs your guys, but I haven't seen him in any sideboards yet. So I suspect that's not there.
I hope Alex doesn't mind this. I love the blue nails matching the the blue of the deck you're playing. I get gel nails a couple times a year, and I like to do the same sort of thing. Those look awesome.
Matching his base, right? I think I've seen Alex play a few
Exactly.
times, and the nail colors tend to match the base colors, or at least the leader.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Excellent, excellent. So Alex playing with his Galactics mat from last year. I like this one myself. I play with it a few times, but I know he won a Vader mat earlier in the week in limited, so he's already got a Vader mat and choosing not to flex with it today, huh? Like Loopy is.
Also looked like Alex mulligan, but didn't just mulligan. Had to show his opponent. Look how bad this is. I'm shuffling this back. So I'm flashing to his opponent.
Yeah. I guess by game 3, he probably knows what all those cards
Yeah,
are anyways.
exactly.
We're not
Yeah.
giving away information.
Yeah. Oh my God, look at this. I'm mulliganing.
Well,
Okay,
Alex
cool. We
does.
get to see the start.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Alex is, playing with a showcase. I hear that gives you a slight win percentage increase too. So Lando's gonna have to overcome.
It does something. I don't know what. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something happens.
Obviously, the reason you play Virgin's Temple is because you're trying to do. There he is, Jedi Counselor. So now you've got the Force, which gives you the ability to use it right away. I was going to say, a way a yellow deck can deal with that, and I've seen a little bit of is bringing in like an X34 out of the sideboard to run into the counselor, turn off the force. Obviously, that's not what happened here. So this is very good for Alex because now he's going to be able to potentially put down a threat ahead of curve that Lando is going to be really challenged to deal with, and then that gives you the gas to start, getting ahead.
Wow, that consular's so good.
Yeah.
What
And the
a
question
start.
is, does he have the 5-drop? He does. Okay, Ghost, and Ghost is a big beefy unit, right? So you've already got 5 attack in space, 6 should it start getting buffed with Obi-Wan.
That's the Spectre one? Does he doesn't have other Spectres, does he? Is there a chance he does?
He does. Yeah. So
Okay,
Ezra,
okay, great.
this deck's going to play sometimes the 3-cost 3/5 Ezra, as well as the 4-cost the new multicolor Ezra. I know Alex, since I've played him in this match specifically a few times. I don't think he. Well, maybe I shouldn't give away the deck list too much. There are
Yeah,
Ezras. How about that?
it's a Spectre he could be playing in this deck.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I like the idea to go to space here too, because had he had like a ground unit, say a Lando, this Sentinel, this shielded Sentinel would have, been a challenge to get through. Going to space with the Ghost is going to allow him to start to really put on the pressure in space, and that's only going to be more so now with Sabine's masterpiece. Speaking of specters,
I'm so good you know the alt arts and what card it is. I'm so glad you know that. I would be lost. You immediately know. You're like, yeah, it's that. Okay, good.
I will say I am a shinies player myself, so I can't help
Okay.
it.
That's why you know them.
Mhm. Okay, so Cinta. At this point, we're kind of racing a little bit. We're both throwing haymakers. Alex is going to have the option here once he has the force again to make either a sentinel in space or on the ground if he wants to try to clog things up. Oh, he's playing against Carlos. I didn't realize he was playing against his teammate Carlos. Excellent. So I can tell you these two have played this matchup at nauseum then. So they both know exactly what the other is looking to do.
Yeah. And they're playing at a nice clip too. They know what's
Mhm.
up.
Oh, absolutely. Being teammates, these two probably have played this exact matchup, several times to where they're both going to know pretty early who's in the lead and what needs to be done from a maneuvering perspective. The
Were they
counselor's
all
still being allowed to just go nuts here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, he's been choosing to hit base with his turn 1 play rather than kind of deal with this threat, trying to go kind of a bit of the race. But I think he's getting punished here by allowing the counselor to fire off multiple times and getting out another unit here. At this point, Alex's space threat is going to be pretty overwhelming.
At the start of this game, I said, hey, we'll get to see how Alex got in such a dominating position. We sure are seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole reason you play Virgin's Temple with the counselor, right? If it goes unanswered, it's almost hard to lose sometimes, right? Because you're just playing with 2 extra resources all game long. Should it go unanswered, right? Kind of a
So,
face roll situation.
and Obi-Wan can heal 1 damage from a unit, right? That's this Obi-Wan? Or no?
No, the Obi-Wan leader
No,
here
this is a
can
different one.
use the Force. Yeah, he can use the Force to give a experience token to a unit,
Experience token.
an unupgraded unit.
Okay. So the first attack into the consular, could he? He'd have to use
It
the
looks like
Force. Yeah, I don't
he's
know.
going base again. And this
I was-
masterpiece is in a great position here because he's got both heroism and by he got to the the 7 drop here. That was a problem.
We've used it 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, Keller and into just more space units has ramped up the pressure. All right, and we're only on 5 resources, so I think we're going to see Obi-Wan come out. Poor Lando's got his credit over there, but he can't come out for another turn. I'm watching chat here talk about the counselor play, and if you have it, this deck just being its win percentage has to be dramatically higher with that start compared to otherwise. I mean, the deck is still powerful otherwise, but with that start, very very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
When you're playing against people, it feels like they always have it, right?
Yeah, I was looking at Carlos's board and trying to think how many turns it takes to kill the consular and whether it really even would have worked out.
He's a 1/4. His turn 1 play was a 2/3. So he could have hit it, that first turn and then again the following turn. I guess Alex would have had the option to try to buff it and keep it alive, but then that meant he
Right.
wouldn't have been able to use its ability because with Virgin Temple, you're only getting the Force once per turn, right?
Yeah, I think that's what you're getting out of it. You're forcing him to make an experience instead of using it. Or forcing him to just use it one more time and then lose it. Either way, this looks insurmountable at the moment.
Yeah, kind of like where we stepped into the last game. The Obi-Wan has managed to just build a gigantic board and is overwhelming his opponent. And perhaps that's what we didn't see the first game was had it been a counselor start and a very similar interaction. It obviously wasn't on the board when we joined the game, but it was a similar situation.
So detonation still is what we're
Yeah,
looking for?
Rhydonium detonation. Yeah, that's when I'm thinking in the bag, what could there be to turn this around? Um, Otherwise, even if he's going to get his flip. The best thing he could have here would be, say, a Bo-Katan or a Liberty, but even those are both just speed bumps at this point. I think for Obi unit, that was going to go away.
So the whole field's -3. Like can he actually close for? So does he have 10 damage? Field wide -3.
Oh,
That Sentinel, yeah,
4, 5,
that's
6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
might do it.
11. Yeah, he didn't quite have enough to close the other direction either.
Yeah, I was wondering could he put him in check, but yeah, that Sentinel definitely not.
The masterpiece up in space has restore as well, having a vigilance unit out, so that would change the math a little bit. I like how Alex has marked for us that everything is shrunk by Bo-Katan.
Or they were in stealth and they were just detected. Or maybe, something happened. Ah,
So this is to your point, Virgin's Temple. One of the challenges with Virgin's Temple is you're playing lower HP, right? So there are times where you can just get got, especially when there's big units like Bo-Katan on the board. So Alex is
right.
taking his time here to make sure I still need to close out this game. He's still got 14 damage to go. His units are shrunk. And not being overly aggressive, such that a return attack could cost him the game and the match being game 3. So very very prudent to sit here and think it through.
Yeah, I mean the fog effect of the -3, like I'm gonna take way less damage because your whole field is shrunk. That was a big deal and changes so much math.
Mhm. And I like going in with the Masterpiece because that's giving you a little bit of restore and chipping some damage. Interesting. He puts the +1 on Kelleran. So Kelleran was shrunk to a 4/4. This puts him up to a 5/5. Still doesn't quite challenge the Lando.
Mm-hmm. Does this Obi-Wan give him a chance to put another experience on it, or it has to not have an experience? Yeah.
Yeah, correct. An unupgraded
Yeah.
unit
Yeah.
sells right now.
Okay, let's do the math. How much health is on that base? Is it a 25, a 28?
On the Virgin's Temple,
Yeah.
25, and so we've got 17. So
Ooh.
it's only 8 damage swingback. So the Bo-Katan is presenting
Right,
a lethal
exactly.
scenario. Yeah, and we were just talking.
Ground soldier. So now we're gonna say, okay, I'm no longer in check.
Yep.
And
Let me heal 2.
I'm no longer in check.
Yep.
And
Let me heal 2.
back to you.
So now we've got 6. The other direction would be lethal, which the ghost is presenting, right? So now Alex says, okay, I'm going to heal for 2, and I will now put you in check, right? What can you do about this swing here? Has to say, how do I answer this ghost? Otherwise, I'm dead in one swing.
He'd probably get in trouble if he played Surprise Strike, right?
Yeah, I think there might be a judge call if suddenly a surprise strike hit the board.
Okay, so that's not an option. Okay, so what does he do? That's lethal. He could have a Liberty Bibberty.
I don't think he can play a Liberty because he spent out all of his resources
Are they
plus his
on?
credits last turn. So
So
this
they're
is going
on
to put, yeah,
7?
he's on 7. Yeah, so Liberty would be a fine answer right now, right? Because you'd be able to tap down Kelleran and put a Sentinel in front of that Ghost. But we do not have the resources available to make such a play. So one that comes to mind to me, I don't recall, did he have Mando? Although I see now. So this is why Alex. Okay, I am now out of check again, and you are now once again in check.
Right.
Or he's not quite 10, 15, 18, 5.
Right.
Or he's not quite 10, 15, 18, 5, 6, 8. Yeah. Okay. All right. The pod.
Oh, wait. What? Did we miss something? Oh, no. He's just got it. Wow.
Oh, he hit him for 6, put him to 29. Yeah, I thought Alex was giving the fist bump saying I won. And I was like, wait, no, that's one short. And then, yeah, the swing back on Lando.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Man, the Bo-Katan.
Hey, and look at that hand. We were postulating before Rhydonium explosion. He did have it. So I imagine that came in through the sideboard, but it was an option.
Is that what that is?
That's the second card there. So the top one is the removal with heal 3, and the second card that you can see is a little glare, but I believe that's the Rhydonium explosion.
Okay,
Detonation.
right. Yeah, I was looking at the list. It is in the sideboard. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, Bo-Katan. That's crazy.
Yes, that was fun. I mean, Obi-Wan really going out to a big lead there, but Bo-Katan just coming in and just throwing the hammer saying, hey, I'm going to turn this game right back around.
Can someone in... No, we're going to take a break. We've got... This is... the tournament's 5 rounds. Is there a top cut, RT? All right, 5-round tournament. That was round 4. So we got one more for you. Stick around.
And hello, everyone. Welcome back to round 5 of the Adepticon Premier Tournament. I'm Rebel Traitor, joined by Kyle Kraft with the Colorado Cantina crew. And this is going to be the last round of the tournament. This is table 5. Winner gets a mat, loser doesn't. And those are pretty cool mats. So this one's got a lot of stakes on it. Alex has already won a mat from a previous day. But you know, the honor of earning it is still something to play for.
Yeah, I think he's already earned 2 mats and gave one away. So he's on fire here, trying to go 3 for 3 with another chance tomorrow, right?
Yeah, one more chance tomorrow. We'll have coverage of it here on stream. It looks like my mic level is really low. 1 second. Okay, there we go. That should be a bit higher.
Okay, excellent. We're gonna get a cool mat. All right, rolling for initiative. Let's do it again.
All right.
Okay. Well,
Shout out to
Obi-Wan
Alex.
with initiative.
I was going to say shout out to Alex for providing our backup feature match all weekend. That's his camera.
Excellent. Yeah, the tokens as well, right? The Premier Games tokens sitting over there, I believe, are his as well. I like those ones myself. All right. So let's see if Alex can start with the counselor. I'm going to say this wrong, as I do on our pod all the time.
Consular.
The counselor start again, right? So while we've said Obi-Wan doesn't need it, it is or can be crushing when it does happen, right? And at least in the 2 games I've seen so far, he's had it. So we're not mulliganing. He likes what he's got, so maybe it's there.
Yeah, but that last game was pretty incredible. Where he opened it and it never died, and he just kept getting out big thing after big thing, and he still lost to that Lando.
Yeah,
it was some.
I really thought that was
Carlos.
a problem. Yeah, once he got to play a Kelleran off the counselor into another unit, I thought, man, maybe we should have killed that thing. But yeah, Carlos able to steer it back around was surprising to me, but very well navigated.
Carlos playing on our backup feature match right now in a Lando mirror. So if this one ends up early, you know, that's where we're going.
Okay. So have you played much of the Talzin at all post-rotation? And where do you stand on the yellow versus red seems to be the question right now.
I played a little bit of the yellow once the Stranger came out. I haven't played as much of the red, but I think if I were to go back to Talzin, I would probably go to the red right now. Because the yellow one just feels like it doesn't have a lot of win conditions. Like, I mean, it's got a bunch of value, and Strangers are really...
The Typho or the 5-drop to really capitalize on the start here. Okay,
right.
So a Cinta right away. So we don't immediately have the benefit of the cheating something down for 5. This is going to allow him to use Obi-Wan to buff the Cinta rather than use the counselor ability.
That's pretty strong, a 4/6 Cinta, and he can also probably play another 2-drop with the counselor if he has one.
Mm-hmm. Should he have one? Ooh, he does not. So he had the start he wanted, but he didn't have the follow-up play necessarily you'd want to really take advantage of getting those 2 extra resources.
Yeah. Oh, I guess he couldn't have done both because he would need the force for both.
That's right. So Talzin does have answers here to a 4/6 Cinta, right? Especially on 4 resources. You could be looking at Tyrannus plus a chip in from the Force Crafty. So while Cinta is a good card here, it's definitely answerable by Talzin in a number of ways.
Yeah, gonna kill the Trace Acolyte to prevent that Tyrannus line you were talking about, or at least make it worse.
Okay. Yeah, taking the value out of Cinta, so you don't just get a free 2-for-1. I think also Alex knowing that, as we talked about before with the top end of Talzin, I think Obi-Wan is probably better positioned having the stronger top end. Straight down into, so we are going to make use of it here and showing the power of cheating down resources. And of course, nothing but the best of the shinies out of Alex in this deck.
Yeah, and he forced the Shatter Point out, which is going to be one of the easiest ways to answer Anakin here. Although I think he's got a no glory in hand, which will do that just fine.
Yeah, I don't think that's where Talzin wanted to be. Getting traded into plus having to getting 2-for-1 to get rid of the Cinta was pretty disappointing to have to play that line, but I think that was the option available. All right.
Ooh, Stranger. I guess that does deal with the Anakin with the Talzin ability. Doesn't kill it yet.
Not on initial trade. Yep. Chimere coming down, huh?
But yeah, I mean that Obi-Wan can prevent the Talzin from killing it though.
Well, we could still get it, right? A Talzin shrink, a Talzin flip, and a second shrink. Just gonna have to do a little more work.
Yeah, but then he can't. Robert can't kill the consular also with the Talzin.
Yeah, just instantly taking that leader off. Anakin already had the damage on him, so really efficient there.
Good old Force Lieutenant. I like that line. And now this is like where Talzin is gonna have a hard time coming back from this, especially the yellow version. The red version, I mean, I don't know actually if the red version is gonna be doing much better in this position, but definitely Talzin's is in a rough spot here.
Well, I see the Sheen Flurry, so I'm presuming there is Sheen Flurry Vader available. Not this turn. We're gonna have to be on 7 to make that. Not the play that I think the Talzin player really wants to be making there. It's a play out of necessity. All right, so this is going to allow him to come down and take care of the Maz. But we've kind of used all of our resources for the turn. We've only taken care of a Maz Kanata, and now Alex is going to be able to swing base here and develop the board. We've also now used our Sheen Flurry, so should we draw into Vader, I guess we're going to have to draw both to make that a reality.
Yeah. And now Typho is going to block off the Vader from killing multiple units because he's got 6 health now from the Obi experience.
Yep. Well, we saw the no glory. I see he's looking to shift 5 resources here, so all right. Are we gonna just no glory off this Typho?
I mean, he can.
That
but
still doesn't help him build board.
Alex is at 7 resources, which is enough for Kelleran to just refill the board.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna see.
All
but
right.
Again, this is just delaying the inevitable. This is not getting us back into the game, unfortunately. We're already at 12 damage. Obi-Wan's about to hit us again for another 6. Buffing Mina.
So attacking for 6, but really a total value of 7, which is pretty funny if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, Rebel Trader. I don't see a way to come back here. This one's looking pretty tight. Looking pretty tough here.
Yep, and Robert's just gonna call it. So
and yeah, we agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might have been that Maz that was really the kicker.
Yeah, I originally brought Maz into my Obi Virgin's Temple deck to deal with my opponent's counselor, right? But then as I played it, I realized, wait, this is great into all kinds of other 2/4 starts that people have been doing. Even into Talzin, if you have the initiative and they start with, say, any form of 2/4, they got a few of them in that deck. Being able to trade up right away is just so efficient.
Yeah. But yeah, they were just being able to knock that Talzin, off the board before she could get anything done. That was massive.
Well, Talzin's, game plan is typically ground control, right? The yellow version specifically has a harder time into space, but is a little better into ground. So, Talzin Yellow should have game into Obi-Wan here. We're going to get the initiative this time. So perhaps being able to get the efficient trades first or the shrinks first, right? I think it's a little bit of a different game when you have the initiative with Talzin.
For sure.
All right, what are we looking for out of the sideboard? On the Obi-Wan side, sometimes I'm looking at some Talzin deck is kind of built to begin with to fight on ground, which is what
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's doing. So I'm not sure what we're bringing there. That you're kind of doubling down on where you're good, which your sideboard is probably geared towards dealing with space.
Yeah, I imagine that's true. I'm not sure exactly what is going to be in the sideboard, but yeah, I can't imagine that there would be anything super significant unless maybe he was teching the main board for space. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine hyperspace disasters, space removal, that sort of thing. I like to bring in. I've been playing around lately in my Talzin Yellow with arrest, just to deal with like a Chewy pilot, that sort of thing. But I don't think it would help too much here. Okay, look at the hand. We got a good start. I think the Talzin's probably going to keep this. We got a good 2 into a 3 into a 4. With initiative looking like a pretty promising hand.
Yeah, he's got the Treya, which that could be very exciting because of the Treya ability to reset Talzin.
Mulligan, he was kind of holding his hand up, so I couldn't tell if we're on our second hand here, and he didn't like the first one.
I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch that. I was looking at at Robert's hand. Oh, looks like he's got Mulligan now.
There's the Mulligan there. Yeah, so I guess he was just still sideboarding, but whatever 6 cards he drew there, he immediately slapped back on top of the decks. There wasn't much to think about. Yeah, that's great. I've seen across SWU, though, even like last weekend and other events, sometimes Sundays